We forgot the mic at the last minute. Starting off with laughs again. Please like the video. Please share the video if you choose. It's totally up to you. We really, really, really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Sending you lots of love. Hey, I'm Bob, Trish, Dingo, and Logan. Although I know it's not Logan. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Cindy. Lovely to see you guys here and welcome, welcome. It is, what is today? Oh, it's February 13th. What a auspicious day to be having a live. And Norma, how are you doing today?
Huh. That's going to be a little bit of a difficult one to answer. I've been all over the place today. I've been so present. It's like, it's hard to explain, that's where that saying comes through that the ones who know can't say, and the ones who say don't know. And when you really understand what that means, it's like, it's hard to put the words, what it is that you experience, especially when you're traveling within yourself to understand this vast realm in which we are in to understand our manifestations and what this is about, and knowing that ultimately in the end it's only about us experiencing who we are from the micro level all the way to the macro level. So that's where I've been today.
Yeah. Awesome. I really thought that Sunday was quite good. So if you guys enjoyed Sunday, we wanted to continue on that about the managing emotions. And we've got a little slideshow presentation to those two sheets that we did up, and I've uncovered more this morning, and Norma put it into a bit of a slideshow for us. So how exciting is that? We've got more info, more tools for the toolbox to give you more understanding on how you can utilize these tools to assist yourself, right? So we're just going to wait for a few more people to come in before we launch right in. I just want to send everyone lots of love today. And if you accept, I will be doing a little bit of healing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I will. Yeah. There's a few people commenting on thick energy today. Yeah. Thick. Soupy. Pea soup. Got to get through the pea soup, the fog. Yeah. And find yourself. So these tools in the toolbox, when energies feel really high, quite often my first go-to is to get outside and get in nature, take a break, or put on some music and dance. Shift the energy within you, release that energy. I'm going to let Norma hold there's a couple other things you can do as well. So, rubbing your hands together, activate, please. And you can literally clear. You just run your hands. That's why when you're having a shower, that one's really helpful. The other one is like just wiping your body off, clearing your body. Imagine you're like a rooted tree and send it all into Mother Earth. Please take this away. And I always ask, is this mine? Only when you ask if it's yours can you discern, because so many people are wide open and picking up on others' energies, especially if you're working in a public place and it's much more challenging. And then if you can ask, right, is this mine? And if it's not mine, please send it away. And that way it at least gives you some tools to start to regulate yourself. Yeah, absolutely. And getting out in the sun. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And so were they yours? Yeah. And remember too with these energies that it's all happening for us. It's to move us from this carbon to crystalline. There's a lot going on in the body at any given time. And I actually recommend, a lot of people are looking at the Schumann resonance and attaching to that. I recommend you just stay present, because as soon as we attach it to something else and blame it on something else, we're kind of giving our power away. And we've spoken about this before. Can you add to that?
Yeah, certainly. It's when you begin to understand the descending and the ascending, um, the truth to what that really represents is because it's been so long that a lot of us here have been at this level. Okay. We were in those lower realms of ourselves, so to speak. So as we're, you know, we're climbing that Jacob's ladder, the spine where the kundalini sits at the coccyx at the bottom of the spine. When you're going up that spine and coming down, what you're recognizing is what's the beauty of about where you are is you're not having to go as how do I explain this? It's like you're still going down that ladder, but what happens is you're not having to go to the depthness of um
Can you
the
explain
Black Lagoon
Can you
kind of
explain
thing.
the ladder a little bit more so
S-
that it's yeah.
Yeah, so basically Jacob's ladder is understanding that to have a kundalini doesn't mean you have to have it all at once. To have a kundalini means that that's what Jacob's ladder represents. You are taking the oil, the Christed oil, and what you're doing is as you continue to have these epiphanies, what's happened is you've risen that oil to your spine, up your spine the to the mind, to the consciousness to utilize through your pineal gland and pituitary gland. And what happens is it's like it's the oil that lubricates the brain so that the mind can traverse the brain and start to um, fire off those synapses we haven't used in a while. So when you go up, what you do is you come to the epiphanal moment. You have those aha moments of recognition of things of self, and you sit in that joy. You sit in that higher place of a vibratory state due to knowing how you're feeling. And when we get to a place where, okay, I get this and I'm beginning to understand this, then what happens is you begin to ask those even deeper questions. So what happens is you will go back down the spine, so to speak, because it's a process. It's like the toroidal field. So as you go back down, what you're doing is you're gathering the information from this realm to understand more about who you are at that macro level, sorry, from the micro level. So you see, that's where you begin to understand that this is where our contrast gives us that ability to understand how to utilize Jacob's ladder. So when you go back down, you're beginning to understand you don't have to go to the depthness that you were going, because the more and more you begin to have those recognitions and the more and more you begin to have those remembrances, what happens is it's like, okay, I'm going to go back down this ladder, because then you start to have fun. Because then you're going to go back down this ladder and you're going to be like, I don't have to go to this depthness. I don't have to go this far, because it's beginning to make sense to me, because it is a sense. You're beginning to tap in the sense of the macro individual that you are as you continue to traverse Jacob's ladder. So, excuse me, when you begin to recognize that the tools you have, you don't have to go as far or as deep to gain that recognition, then it's an up and down. It becomes that that elevator, that escalator, so to speak, and you begin to recognize and have fun and begin to see who you are and have such a profound love and beauty of the process of the recognition that this life actually is worth living. This life actually does provide us with everything that we ever asked for. How open are we to sit down and allow ourselves to see who we are, to get beyond that programming, it's beyond that muck, to allow ourselves on that macro level to show us when we're in this micro level that we're so much more than we could ever imagine. And this is where you begin to tap into the unlimitedness of self.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. And this is a lot of what we want to talk about today. So that's good. And we could go more into this. And now I'm super activated. Okay. That's what happens when I do that. Yeah. So I'm just typing in the chat. So for those of you that are watching the replay, just know that you too can also have the healing I did. I did get everyone to remember to take some really deep breaths, to make sure you hydrate, drink lots of water, get some Celtic salt. I grounded you. I sent in some blue light. I sent in some, which is also cooling. So if your headaches and heart, like calm, right? It's a much more calming. Blue's always a calming color. Look at her shirt, right? So very calming. And then I reset some chakras. So it'll keep working. Trust me. This is what happens. So thank you all for allowing. And absolutely, selenite. Cindy's asking, will a selenite wand work? Yes. And you can use that to brush you off. Absolutely. So any tools you get in your toolbox that you know is working for you, use it. And don't forget, there's meditations all over YouTube on the channel, and they're quite listed as to what they're for. So if you just look up my name, make sure you spell it with a J, you will always be able to find those meditations. All right. All right. So we're going to jump into this in no particular order, but they are all relevant for beginning to understand the being that you are, so that you may choose to accept that, everything that's happening within the body is not, it's not just who you are. There's so much more to you. Okay. And so here we have the consciousness chart. These are a whole bunch of conscious. This one's about the chakras. And so below the body at the very bottom, we have our earth star. And I know these are hard to read. We didn't have time to retype it. And then we have our root chakra, which is the red one. And again, that's at the coccyx, as Norma explained. And then you have your sacral, which is orange, and that's around your sexual organs, and also womb, right? So part of that security. And men, you also have a womb. You were in a womb. It's not, and I'm not saying men can have babies, okay? Just to be clear. But you understand, right, what I'm saying? So no matter what, you are part of that process. The third is your solar, which is yellow. You have a fourth, which is I consider, now they do this a little different. You do have one at your belly button. I consider that the drone chakra that can run around and check out other things. You can put your consciousness elsewhere, so you can remote view, for example. And then we go up to the heart chakra, which is green. You do have a higher heart, which is turquoise. You have a throat chakra, which is blue. You have your third eye chakra, which is purple. You have your crown chakra, which I always say is like is light, a white and gold with sprinkles in it, like fairy dust. That's always my favorite with that. Then you have your soul chakra or star chakra. And then you have a spirit chakra, a universal chakra, a galactic chakra, and a divine gateway. Now, we don't need to worry about them so much. I would worry more, I would focus more on everything from your star chakra above the head and down, okay, including the earth chakra, which is about a foot below you in the earth. Does anyone have any questions on that one, please? Do you want to add to that at all?
It's I suppose the only thing I can add to this is definitely where I was today. And the one thing that is challenging for me still at this conjecture of my own self exploration is I can go so high that I'm with the body, but I'm present through the body, yet I'm almost detached to a level and degree where the functionality of the integration with the body is not so much connection, so to speak. And I'm not saying this is this is not a good or bad. That's not what I'm speaking to. What it means is that it's the higher you go, it's at a level where I'm recognizing that I still have things in the body that I must transcend, transmute, um, to have it be able to meet me at that level of consciousness where I can stay grounded with the body here and yet stay in that higher state of being. And it's just there's sometimes it's just hard, it's hard to come up with the words with what I'm experiencing. What I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing me. I'm experiencing that everything that I'm traversing within me is being reflected outside of me. Knowing that when I hit such a pivotal vibratory state where everything freezes, it stops, so to speak. It's not that it's not in motion. It's just when you become so centered, when you become such a frequency being that you begin to recognize that you are the ruler of your kingdom. At this micro level, the body is the kingdom. But at the macro level, when you look out, not through these eyes, but the one eye that gives these eyes the sight to see, that when you've hit that center point and you come to a place where you have vibrated so high that the it's amazing because it's like you are in a movie prop. At least that's what the experience is for me. It's like movie props, but at a level where it's your ancestors that are being these props for you, because the trees, I see them. I can see the trees and who they are, what they represent, and it's so magnificently beautiful. It blows me away every time I hit that level of my consciousness, just way out there. I mean, she can tell you it's like, yeah, you were gone for a while. I was like, yeah, I don't doubt that. So
hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, that's okay. One day it will. And even sometimes when she's speaking, even I don't get it. So I get it, but I don't experience it. So therefore, right, to get it at that level. So for me, and I have seen the trees when we were at San Crisanto, we were definitely seeing the same thing in the trees. Yes. We were both saying, "Oh, they're like indigenous people from Mexico." And they're all the ancestors and they're all up in their garb and they're dancing around. You can see it. You could really see it with the wind. Yeah. She gets so excited when I see what she sees.
I think what it is there's a possibility that because she keeps me grounded, I'm able to give bring her how do I say this, where I'm able to connect with her enough to be able to show her what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It's like it's a give and take, or a give and receive, an ebb and a flow. It's like, the two snakes. And so that's the beauty of this, is that I'm beginning to realize and recognize that um, it's profound that if I hold that space, because I'm the space holder where she's the grounder and, and does what she needs to do with the being that she is, me holding space allows me to be able to give her the ability to see the things that I'm seeing. So that's what I'm coming to understand.
Right. And so we're all learning as we go. We're just like you. We've just been working on this for quite a while. So, and I just want to say, wow, Trish, congratulations. So Trish has been doing the practice that we've been recommending for everyone to set an alarm in the morning before you're on your device, before you start running into your day, so that you can be in that in-between space. Set it for 5 minutes. And I recommend you sit up, you're going to fall back asleep. And 5 minutes and just observe your thoughts. And so Trish is saying, after my 5 minutes observing my thought and asked if any additional interest in my house, she got an offer today. So excited. I'm so happy for you. And then Trish also says this is all on Rumble, guys. If you can't see it, this is why. Although we just figured out we can share the Rumble chat, so we'll play with that one time. And it's the first time you've heard of the drone chakra. So your belly button is your portal, one of your portals. For that's how you came in as a soul, and that's where you got all your nutrients from your mother. If you think about it, right? It all came in through the belly button. So the belly button is highly sensitive and beautiful. Like we talk about putting castor oil on the belly button or specific oils to help yourself. That's a very good point. It's not something we're ever taught about, but something really good to remember, right? When I had my Reiki session, she and I shared a vision of an eye between the bridge of my nose and forehead and kept repeating it over and over. Perfect. Yeah, Trish, I'm so glad that's helping. So you do that 5 minutes, guys, and then you add a minute per day till you get up to 10 or 15. And if you do that every morning, I promise, we promise, you will see as you observe those thoughts and see which are most prominent and just observe them. Don't attach to them because thoughts are not facts. But your monkey mind will slow down. We promise. Okay. And so in the rest of this screen, and I know it's hard to see, and again, we will share these in the chat. So this is the Telegram chat afterwards, 100%. And I'm just going to pop in here on the chat. We've got all our links. We've also set up a donate button. So you can go to the link tree and it doesn't look like that last one grabbed. 1 second. Let me see if I can get that. Go ahead, Normie Jean. You want to talk about this a little bit more?
Sure. Let's see.
What chakra do you rely on the most, or do you think about the most?
I can't answer that.
You can't answer that?
No.
That's okay.
So are there any questions that y'all have that, given what I've shared here, are there any questions that any of you have that we can tap into that will give us the ability to give you the guidance or the tools as we continue to show this PowerPoint that
you can go on to the next one.
You want to go to the next one?
Yeah. I just have to figure out how to go to the next one.
There you go.
There we go. Ta-da! You can run through this.
All right.
While I sort this out.
So this right here are just tools. These are the tools of understanding of who you are. That's the great thing about these charts, because these charts at least give you something to look at that will tell you where you're at, how you're feeling, what it is that it's going to take for you to realize what you may be feeling challenged with, like say maybe fear or grief or hopelessness or anger or anything like that. And then you look at this chart, and what this does is it provides you with understanding that all you must do is go to those levels where they are higher level vibratory state by taking yourself to a place or maybe even to a memory that feeling still can be tapped into, where courage comes into play, acceptance comes into play, willingness. What does this look like for you? Is it something that, as you're going through what you're going through, are you willing to ask yourself those questions like, what is willingness? Show me what willingness is. Show me what it is so I may know the truth of the feeling of what the truth of that means. Show me what acceptance is. What if I do not have the capacity to be able to recognize it within my mind, give me the guidance by way of where to go, what to seek. Show me something that will lead me to that space or place that provides me with that guidance or those tools, where somebody may be speaking something that gives me an even greater in-depth understanding of what acceptance is. So this is where you begin to use your faculties in understanding that, because you are the word, once you speak the word, the word must produce. And when you when you ask, it's one thing, but when you command, it's another. So begin to always want to know more about your capacity and your ability to know how to raise your frequency, your vibratory state. And that's the reason why it's a beautiful thing that we're able to bring you this, because it at least gives you a visual. And in that visual, then what that does is it starts to create those bridges and those synapses in your mind as to this is a tool that you will utilize for now as you're continuing to do those 5 minute contemplative and observer position of your thoughts. So as you can see, when you look at this, you have the chakras that also are in this consciousness chart that lets you know where you're at. And this is where the as above, so below comes into play. And so in, the linear, you have the two chakras there, but even in that 4D, what happens is the reason why there is this center is because this is the center of a womb with these chakras, because then that's where you're at that the equator, so to speak, of self, where you're able to transmute or transcend
Or
your alchemize, thank you, what you are sitting with self with to understand. Once you do that, then that's where the nonlinear euphoric aha moments come from, because you've risen your vibratory state to a level where, because you were being just willing to understand that, then it's like puzzle pieces start falling into place, and you have those aha moments. You're like, wow, this is who. Then you know what love, joy, peace, and enlightenment ultimately is. And this is where Jacob's ladder really truly comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we were discussing, you go up and down. You will not it's, in my opinion, very, very few people are able to maintain that. Think about Buddha, or Jesus, right? To maintain that level. And in my opinion, they're not operating in the world the way we're operating in the world still. So we're projecting out whatever's been going on or what needs to be cleared, so that we get a mirror back to show us what we need to work on. And that's why we always say everything's always happening for us, not to us, because you're attracting with your frequency where you are what is coming towards you in your world. It's another reason that I always suggest one can consume information and look for the truth outside of themselves. But if you actually took that same amount of time and chose to work on self and start understanding this more, your whole outer world's going to shift. Why are we relying on something outside of us when, if we do the inner work, absolutely, it'll be a lot easier. Blue Rose says, I have trouble speaking out loud what I want. I speak only in my mind. Is that hampering my spiritual growth? I think you should open your throat chakra and speak your truth. It's good to speak it out loud, but your mind is one part of it. So when we're manifesting, everything you think, say, and take action towards is manifesting. So I'll speak it out 100%. I'll speak things out loud when I don't even realize I'm speaking them out loud sometimes. So yeah, and that's why I will often tone or sing. As soon as I know I need to shift my energy, like, didn't like how that went, or I don't want to be in the spot that I'm in, I'll right away start singing or dancing, or, I'll listen and observe nature and then hear the birds singing. And I'm like, yeah, that frequency is a good frequency. They know what they're doing. Absolutely. So, and you'll all get to know as you get these tools that you will get better and better about this. You will improve. You are improving. You are mastering. All right. And then we're back to the one that we did show the other night, but I thought this was and these are come out a little skewed because we've grabbed them and inflated them, so to speak. So we've got them again, but shame, association from emotional state. I thought this was important. And then your view of life. From shame, it's humiliation and miserable. guilt, it's blame and evil, right? And I'm not saying don't attach to these 100%. This is just a guide. Apathy, despair, and hopeless. Grief, regret, and tragic. Fear, anxiety. You notice how fear and anxiety are like, they're like besties, man. They're like the besties of besties. And it makes you afraid of changing, which makes you stay in one spot, which makes it worse and worse and worse and worse. So that's why we need to have the courage and jump up to courage and the desire to change. So it's up to us to make sure that we wish to change. Nobody can do this for you. This isn't somebody can fix. And again, I've said it before, I can come in and give you this healing energy and have you all feeling vibratory high. My frequency, my voice, my energy in itself comes through. You guys all feel great listening to us. I want you to be able to do this for yourself when you're not with us and when you're at home. Do you want to run through some of the other ones?
Sure. So a lot of this comes down to that neutrality. Let's go there. Neutrality is where we begin to understand our level of integrity. Okay, this is when we start become integral in the being that we are, and so from there, if we continue working on understanding ourselves by utilizing this map of consciousness that you have right here in front of you, then what you're doing is you're giving yourself that guidance, because a lot of this is just, it's like reschooling yourself on self. Now you just, this is the guidance, this is the tools that we have before us to be able to utilize understanding the being that we are, experiencing this this realm of manifest. Okay, when we begin to understand there are levels to this, even though, because in order to understand most things, as you continue to do this on its basic level, you will level up each time to understand this from the macro to the micro, because it's like that that um never ending mirror, or how is it that you start from the big picture and then it goes to the center, like that pyramid or that triangle, so to speak, because it's like a repeat of things from the macro down to the micro. But this happens on more levels than just the body. It happens outside the body to the, and then it happens within the body. So when you begin to understand what your visual aspects of things in your understanding, as you level up, your vision becomes clearer as to your understanding of what this life is ultimately about. And it's about self-discovery. It's about understanding that for each and every one of us that's here, this this vessel presents us with the understanding that this is our kingdom. This is um our world. This, on the micro level, explains to the level and degree the macro level of the Gaia Earth in which we are experiencing. Is all about womb, about the womb within self, about the womb that Earth also represents. So this can become so profound. And I hope that I'm being able to express this in ways to help you understand. The beauty of this process is understanding what this really is. But you have to know that through getting to know self. And it's profound. I give you my word. This is so profound. I keep getting um mesmerized and enamored and fascinated at more and more of my own self exploration, just to keep just leveling up. And I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much more enlightening experiences that this world outside me alters as I alter within.
Beautifully said. And I just wanted to bring up what Michelle's talking about here. It's interesting how one can hang out in the grief when losing someone, and each person takes a certain time to raise it. And then we can change that to joy and celebrate them every day. Yeah, there's been a big discussion around this lately. And I have a friend who actually used to be in my painting business and work with us. And we had coffee before I departed. And he's being called to be a death doula. I'm like, yes, it takes a certain person that can be with people as they are transitioning out, so to speak, right? There's lots of birth doulas. There's not as many death doulas. And it is in that even when somebody is departing, it's a celebration. Put on music, celebrate them because they're not going, they're not gone, they're transitioning. And Michelle's right. We can change that to joy and celebrate them every day. Yes, and we can also celebrate that even when they are transitioning out. That should be a celebration so they leave in a higher vibratory state. And that is such a gift to be able to offer. So when you realize that birth and death should be celebrated the same, dun, 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 and everything in between, that's a real ticket. Thanks for that, Michelle. I appreciate that. And then here we again with the vortex, so to speak, right? And this is why, and those of you that have done meditations with me know this is why I will shrink and ask you to imagine your root chakra shrinking down, because a lot of you are sitting in that fear based. And if we just shrink that down, we can get you to start to feel, right? What does it feel like to raise up? Now, you'd have to do this consistently because as something happens and triggers you, it's going to expand out again. Okay. So it'd be really important to keep working on that. Let's go to the next one. Now, this one again is the chakras. And this talks about physical realm, psychic realm, and metaphysical realm. So again, this relates back to that other chakra one as well. And again, it is just a tool to help you to understand how this actually works. And one can go so deep and so far into this. I mean, you're pretty far into it with Savon. But this is just to let you know the physical, the psychic, and then as you go up, it becomes the metaphysical, the alchemizing. We're not going to spend a lot of time here because I just want to give you guys what is most important for you. And then here's some frequencies that can assist with that, right? And sleepiness, 3D. Huh, funny, right? 4D, awareness, morality, 5D, awakening, 6D, supreme consciousness, 7D, ascended master enlightenment, 8D, connection to the soul, and 9D, galactic enlightenment. And so when we look down to the right here, it says 65%. I don't know who's coming up with these, honestly. Apparently 65% are in 3D, but I don't really believe that. So, but it's a very few that get up into those higher realms. And so remember, though, this is all about the journey. This is never over. We just keep growing and expanding or ascending, however you choose to look at it. You want to add to that one?
You know, as I look at this, and like yourself, even when we look at these charts, it's like we always say, do not attach to the information. Just allow it to be something that you utilize in understanding yourself. So these are the very tools that when you are sitting in a reflective state or in a contemplative state of being, when you're speaking to self, where are you? You're with self. Because it's not like you're really speaking to anyone else out here. So when, like, say, if I utilize this scale of consciousness and I utilize it in a way where I'm in the expanse of understanding that, okay, so this chart says there at 65% of the time I'm in sleepiness. I'm in 3D. So I'm like, okay, so let's say there may be this possibility as I continue to go through this life and I begin to understand it at the level that I can understand it at as I raise my vibratory state, then that becomes less of a piece of information that I utilize, because as I raise my vibratory state, then what I'm doing is I'm recognizing that no, I'm not in that sleepiness state. However, I can say that when there is a sleepiness, that I'm come to realize or recognize that if I hit that sleepiness, then what's happening is I'm beginning to understand that I'm alchemizing. I'm alchemizing from that womb, so to speak. I'm still in that higher level of understanding. And if my body is in that place of sleepiness, then what it is my body is moving a lot of the useless weight that it may still be carrying. So you see, I can utilize this chart at any level that I feel I'm able to utilize it from, but it doesn't make it truth. It just gives me a reference point.
It's somebody's version.
Right. It's a reference point. And when we begin to understand and stop attaching so much of who we are to these reference points and just utilize them for the tools that they really actually are just only meant to be utilized for, then what we do is we keep ourselves open to any and all possibilities of the understanding of the being that we are, to understand that from the micro level, we move to the macro level. And from the macro level, we go back to the micro level. This is how we continue to go up and down that Jacob's ladder, where we keep having those small Kundalini moments with self. That a Kundalini does not have to happen all at once and instantaneously. That's the one thing I came to understand. And I'm having Kundalinis all the time. And it's so euphoric, it's so profoundly beautiful, because as I do this, I know the more that I'm doing this, the higher my vibratory state is, the more I'm alkalizing in um, alchemizing the things that need to be alchemized in a way where they're either utilized or they are released to that point where I know when I'm being that light being.
Beautiful. I also wanted to add, if you look on the far left, and Trish says that makes so much sense, Norma. So beautiful. Just that you've got some frequencies there too. And so remember, you can always body dose if a frequency is right for you or not. And if you're new and don't know about body dosing, stand tall like a tree. Keep your back straight. Tap your higher heart, which is here. Take some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And ask your body, please show me a yes, and see what happens. And then thank your body. And then ask your body, please show me a no, and see what happens. It's a tool. It's a tool to help you, because a lot of people are worried about what frequencies are good, what are bad. You will know also just by listening to them, how do they make you feel? If you want to know if something's good or bad, how does it make you feel? That right away should be your trigger point, so to speak. So you can play around with frequencies and see how they make you feel. A lot of people have been on about, oh, this music isn't good because it's at the wrong frequency. I'm like, if that music makes you dance and it makes you happy, who cares? Right? So let's just blow some of these myths out of the water, so to speak, and just have some more fun, have some more enjoyment. And then these ones too, we're talking about correlations between the body chakras and the upper chakras and the lowers. But again, this is just a reference. It's not fact. It's just something for you to become aware of, that, this is why we always say go get grounded. If you can see your root chakras attached to the heart of Mother Earth. When you do a meditation with me, I ask you to take from the base of your spine an energetic light and take it down to the center of the earth and wrap it around the center of the earth, the central the crystal, whatever you choose to visualize there. I usually make it like a glowing light inside, and then I wrap like a yarn ball all around it with this energy, and then bring it back up, so it's super grounding for you, right? And then we will also do some other things on there. And again, there's more meditations over on the YouTube channel. That's where most of them are. And then we can talk about this spiritual ascension. And it's very compared to the other sheets we did. We're giving you different versions, different other people's experiences that they've created these from. And there is some consistency to them, but some will always identify a little bit differently. And so we're in the third density. There's no getting out of it completely. Everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait to go." You're not going. It's a state of consciousness. And so it's being able to dip in and operate. When people say, "Oh, I can't stand being around other people, I can't do this," it is up to you to vibrate in such a state that you attract more of what you do want instead of trying to hide from it. You can't hide from it. It's important to be able to bridge and handle both, in my personal opinion.
Yes, definitely. Um, you know, all I can do is just keep speaking to my own experience. And I've said this from the beginning, and I still continue to say it even to this moment. My only goal in you know purpose for being right here in front of you on this screen is to give you back to you, because I've given myself back to me. And any and everything that I can provide in, the information, to, the tools that can be utilized and the guidance, and to be able to look and see in the comments that I feel that I'm doing better than I give myself credit for. Because if I can see in the comments that, oh, that makes sense, then obviously I'm utilizing the words needed to express the things or the experiences that I have, where um it's hard to explain in words, literally. And it makes me feel good to know that I'm speaking enough of the proper verbiage, or the proper words, where it's it's making sense for y'all. And like right now, I mean, I'm just like, it's hard for me to find words. It really is, because I'm still so present. And when you're present, uh, I'm not as grounded as she is. So it's like when I'm present, I'm just here, and I'm alchemizing. And what's happening is hard to stay connected to the mind, because then I'm just allowing. I'm allowing what's taking place and taking, or the process that is flowing through me, so to speak. And wow, let me tell you, the energies, being here, the experiences that I've been having from the time we got to San Crisanto, had the experience we had there, to Tulum, to the place it was like, okay, this is enough. It's time to get out of here. But knowing that process, in the way that we took that journey, we took the journey of that process, was that what I came to realize was we were picking up the energies that were there to bring here, to transform, transmute, transcend through the body, through alchemization, to a place where we were very comfortable. We were very excited about um, what we came into. That she does such a wonderful job, finding these areas, because she trusts her intuition so much. It's a beautiful process to watch her just get things done. It's so profound to me at levels and degrees. But I've I can sit here and I can tell you that the more and more I explore who I am, and the more and more I understand the womb, and I understand, the contrast of everything that am coming to still ultimately expand upon and raise my vibratory state of understanding about. Man, it's just beautiful. It's oh man, I just it's just beautiful.
She's speechless.
I am lost for words.
Yeah, no, and that's okay. We've been here before to this area many, many, many times. And the connections we've made and the energies we've felt and alchemized. So Andrea's asking, what exactly is alchemizing? When you eat food, you're alchemizing. When you drink water, you're alchemizing. You're changing it from one um, into something else, right? So when you're chewing your food, you're taking and you're even cooking, you're alchemizing. So a lot of people, it's a very simple word. There's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm an alchemist." You're able to transform one thing into another, and that's all it is. So it's not a super big word, but it's just it covers a lot of bases, so to speak, right? And so when we take in new information, you want to integrate, alchemize, like take it in, use it. If you're not using the tools and you're constantly hunting for tools, you got to find what's going to work for you and then work on it. Okay, I think I can add something else now. And you guys have all been amazing at this. I can't say enough on how proud, impressed, the gratitude I have that you've all willing to change and do the work, right? Because happiness is an inside job, right? We can look at the flowers and enjoy them, but to have true happiness, true joy, true vibratory frequency elevation is when you realize that you're the driver. This is your avatar to work on, to create. And yeah, it's not been an easy run, but we got a lot of fun coming up. And so the more you do now, the easier it's going to be moving forward. So it's like all of a sudden, it's like when you learn to drive, you're like, "Ah, it's so stressful." And then once you're driving, you're like, I don't even remember driving home. Like it's so subconscious of you, right? So look at it that way. And every day, little steps add up to so much. So don't beat yourself up. Don't think you're not far enough along. You're doing amazing. We're so very proud of you. We're so very grateful that you're willing to shift and, use these tools. And we've got a Vedette Lake coming up for those that are around BC. We do have Sedona coming up, and Mount Shasta coming up. So go to the website; they're all there. I know, and there may or may not be a few days around Sedona. I'm gonna have to wait a little longer. As soon as I know, I'll let you know about what the plan is for everything. And then Mel, thank you so much. I was so stuck craving tools and connections. The two of you have helped me grow again. Thank you so much. Much love. Oh, we love that. And Mel's becoming mastering being an animal healer, an energetic animal healer, and some physical tools based on her experience and what she's come up with so far in life, which is really beautiful. And Trish says, both of you women are awesome. I feel so blessed to know you. And, we're so grateful for you. So definitely in the link tree, there's a lot more there, how you can connect. We have opened up a donation button. We've been doing this for a year and giving, giving, giving. And so those of you that can afford and those of you that cannot, it's okay. We understand. We're here for you anyway. But those of you that can, I'm also offering a 2-for-1 for either Norma 101s or myself that gets you 2 hours for $200. That's $100 an hour. It is half the price that it's been. And so you can go over to the website and sign up for that. Once you pay for your first one, another link will be sent in to book your second one at no charge. It was the only way we could set it up. We are, as we've said, working on some new courses, working on some other ways of mastering and making things really affordable, right? But we do need to live. So we just wanted to say how much we love you, how grateful we are for all of you. And yeah, what else do you want to add to that? Did you find your voice?
Maybe. No. Keep going. Keep more moving forward. This is your strong front. Instead of a weak end, this is your strong front. And always know that every day you get up and you open your eyes and you see that you have awakened to a new day. Stand in gratitude. Speak it out loud. just lay there and enjoy the feeling of knowing that you have come back to life, and just enjoy who you are. Want to know every day, who are you? And every day will show you. All you must do is be aware.
Beautiful. And I'm going to answer one more question here. Andrea says, it does get hard to use the tools sometimes. I do feel like I've failed when I use one of the tools and they're not working. But, you know, when you learn to ride a bike, didn't you think you were getting really good and then you fell down again? It's part of the learning process. It's part of the adjustment. It's part of the attention and intention you're putting in with those tools. So always take a deep breath first and find the tools that work for you. We're sending you so much love. We've got David next week. He'll be on Tuesdays. We're going to bump over to Wednesdays. We've got Alex coming on this Friday, and you'll get to meet him. A little bit of a wolf magic happening. And he's got some great tools. And so just wanting to share more with you. And Thomas will be back as well. Yeah, so we will continue to bring other people in. And Ashala on the full moon. Ashala's our full moon girl. 100% once a month she's going to jump in and give us some tips and use the tarot, which is a beautiful tool. And I'm going to be putting up a series of videos as well on dowsing, body dowsing and dowsing, and a few other subjects that'll just be really quick, but just give you guys some really good information. So yeah, and we love you very much. Yes. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night. Woohoo! Woohoo!